Good evening and welcome back to the Mancunian Way. My name is Martin. I'm your host, joined by, as always, Ozzy, Rich, and Bebo from Not In My Lifetime podcast. How are we, gentlemen?
Good, mate.
Good.
Well, the enthusiasm is off the chart.
Really good tonight, mate. Really looking.
Fantastic. Come on.
Cannot wait.
Good evening, Get Briggs. How you doing, mate? Yeah, everyone, smash those likes. Be respectful. Sensible combos. Sorry, you said sensible combos. We're not getting any of them in the fan base anymore. I will pop in after 10. I'm taking Jack to the pub to watch rugby. Good luck. Mingy Wong, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. You're always in nice and early. I'm loving it. Give that thumbs up. Yeah. Big up. Yeah, please remember to smash that like on your way in. 60 of you already in. Does help the channel grow, your channel, as we try and hit that 7K mark ASAP, as I say. Road to 10K. That's what we're on. Agree 100%, Martin. Respect the panel and audience, but all have sensible discussions. Big up Adam with the emojis. They're changing soon. When I finish the update on the intro and the outro, we'll get some new emojis going as well. Soriano says we're finished buying. Yeah, read between the lines on that, Pardo. At the moment, we have to say we're finished buying because we've no room at the inn. I think basically it's going to take people to move out to get anybody in at the moment. Hope Soriano isn't being serious. No, I think he's got to say it as things stand as of today. But no, they are definitely still looking. Good evening, Sean. How are you? DC, hello. Hope you're having a lovely evening. Kathy's in the building. Transfers to be in or not to be in, that is the question. Viana and Pep should be the one deciding that part of Oaks. Soriano does as well, actually, he's part of it. Lee Gates, hello, and then drops the £10 super chat. Big up yourself, mate. Thank you so much for your kind generosity. First half, I could see what Pep was trying to do, something they probably worked on in pre-season. Second half, a struggle, might take time for it to click. Different style, Lijnders, what a player. Chroma Biss, Fee, good evening. Hope you are well, Fee, and the house move is going well. What an intro. It's only a temporary one. Once this Club World Cup's done, that intro will disappear. As will the gold. We'll go back to blue as well. Different from the jazz, yeah. Well, the lads voted on the song. They voted it. Ozzy was the odd one out on the song. He got outvoted. SOS, good evening, mate. Joel, good evening. Indriel, how are you doing, mate? Good evening to you. We're loving the graphics, top notch. Chroma Base, enthusiastic panel. Yeah, I know. It's like wake them up. It's like 10p in the meter. Alan's not here tonight. He's got the sniffles. Why Alan's not here and Pat's working.
So is that? So do I have to step in and be like, we need to play the youth?
Yeah.
Nunes is rubbish. Nunes, we should sell him.
Turkey's crap. Get rid of him.
115. We need to play the youth.
By the way, that took 60 minutes before the Turkey was shit comments started rolling out along Twitter. I'm like, what the hell? 60 minutes? Nice to see my co-host has found something to do while I'm away. You piss off, you, and you're on holiday. Get on holiday, you stay on holiday, you have a good time. It looks sunny where you are, but saying that, sunnier where we are. Good evening, Mark. FIFA, how you doing, buddy? Did you have a good time at the game, House Captain? Yeah, House Captain, I have got your videos. I'm going to download them and show them on the next watch along because I've got the emails and I've got the videos. I just now need to transfer them to the laptop, which is not as easy as it seems. But I've got them. I watched them. They are amazing. So I will get them. Thank you very much. Mark Harris has renewed for a 16th month. Big up, mate, for the members club. Thank you so much for your kind generosity and continued support. Sonora Radio says, evening, y'all. Evening, y'all. Michael's after 90 minutes. We have Lijnders, Ballon d'Or winner. Turkey won't last the season. Nothing like an overreaction. Yeah, nothing like an overreaction. and a glorified pre-season. What's these charges for late kickoffs coming out? Yeah, don't. The Premier League just hate us.
Well,
Really do hate us.
It's happened with other clubs over the years, but why are we the only ones that have ever been like charged like with a fine for it?
Because we're Manchester City.
Arsenal.
There's a 115 charges issue.
Yeah.
Arsenal were late with it. A few years ago, United game against Liverpool was postponed for hours. Like, why were they not penalised for it?
I'm sure City do it now just to set the piss.
I think
we just set the piss on the way out now.
I think
worried about Cherky's attitude. Could be trouble ahead. Really, bloody hell, Pardo. In 60 minutes. Relax, mate. Louis, big up yourself. This reaction to this game yesterday has absolutely done me in. Bevo with tram driver van. We bought a French tram driver, Alan. The messages I was getting off Alan yesterday was hilarious. You thought we were playing Liverpool in the FA Cup final the way everyone was flying it yesterday.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'll be back in July, guys. Moving house. Yeah, she's moving house. So she will be back in July when the podcast will begin as well. And we do have a new host, which we are keeping very quiet at the minute. All will be revealed. Intro tune suggesting the Omen theme start Tubular Bells. I'm loving the way everyone's like trying to pick the intro to a song. It was just copyright free music that was on YouTube. That's all it was, seriously. I just think we need better options at right back because clearly Rico is not good enough. So about that, saying that, I don't think Rico was the worst fullback yesterday, but that's my opinion. We'll get into it. We'll bring in a right back and also Chris Wood. Part of Oaks, what an attitude. What attitude, I think he's saying. Are you going to stop that now?
I did nothing. I was just applauding the comments from our great...
You were applauding buying Chris Wood.
No, I think people deserve their comments being applauded.
Omar Bernardo saying City have done anything wrong and will be innocent. Yeah, that was a very intriguing comment from him. People letting 60 minutes pre-season define a career. Yeah, how was the best line I got was Foden was in his way. I'm like, what was Foden meant to do? Disappear off the pitch. It became Foden's fault that Cherky was bad. I'm like, what is going on here? We got to find. The only thing we'll get into it. Nick, how are you doing, mate? By the way, Nick, I want to try and get you and Dante. I need to speak to you, Nick. I want to try and get you on to talk about the trade union blues and the legal stance. So we'll do that. I don't know if you want to talk about it, Nick, but I want to try and get you and Dante on. And if someone from Trade Union Blues wants to come on, so have a chat about that, to why they have taken legal action against the club. I know why, but what are they trying to achieve? But just, get a little bit into it. It's up to you, though, Nick, if you want to come on, though, mate. You're always welcome. But big up to all the work you do for 1894, Nick. Fun fact, Haaland has most goals against Bayern in all comps. Listen, that's Chris Wood item is just not funny anymore. Pardo's not happy with the Chris Wood stuff anymore. How do, Blue Monday? Cafe de Casual, Blue Monday, you are the top line. Right, let's get into it. So, it's post-match. Should we do it as we normally do? Inter Miami are currently beating Porto 2-1, by the way. Jesus. Meltdown. Inter Miami are beating Porto. So, does that mean Porto are shit? Anyway, right, no, we'll get off it. I'm not going to do my little digs anymore. Yesterday, City beat Wydad of Casablanca 2-0. The lineup was as follows: Steady Eddie in goal, Rico Lewis right back, Victor Hayes, Nathan Akin, Nico O'Reilly at left fullback, Tijani Reinders, Savinio on the right, Docker on the left, Cherky and Foden, and Omar Mamouche were basically the front three that were rotating around as a false nine. Right, we'll start with our guest. Bevo, what did you think of it all, of that lineup?
Yeah, I was happy with it. I wasn't expecting like a full stronger starting 11. I had a chat with Luke off air the night that Bayern played, and said to Luke, I said, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that Bayern played their strongest 11 against Auckland. I said, you're asking for injuries doing that. I didn't feel like we needed to play our strongest 11. We had a strong team out there. The beauty of it is that Haaland got rested for most of the game, came on sort of later in the second half with Rodri. Ruben Diaz got a full 90 minutes rest. Gvardiol got a full 90 minutes rest. Like, I think that's the important bit is seeing what these talents that we brought in can do, but to also give the likes of Ruben Diaz and Gvardiol like rest, because like they need it. You know, what's the point in going out and putting out our strongest 11 against a team which we're expecting to beat with our reserves? Overall, overall, I thought Lijnders was exceptional. For me, that first half, Lijnders was man of the match. I know Foden got a goal and an assist, but Lijnders was absolutely unbelievable in that first half. I think that you can see where he's. Yeah, it looks like with Lijnders, you can tell that he's experienced because he just slotted in like a glove. It fitted like a glove. Like, it looked like he played for City for years. With Cherki, on the other hand, I wouldn't say I wasn't impressed with him, but I wouldn't say that I was impressed. I think he did okay, but what I would say is I feel that he was trying too hard to impress. I think what he needed to do was to just relax and just play as he would play. I think there was a couple of moments where he made a few sort of loose passes. There was a couple of little flicks that he tried which nearly didn't come off. And I think that it's going to take time for the connection between him and Phil to be a thing. There was times where, he was clearly asking for the ball and Phil passed to someone else. I think that connection will come in time. He will play. He'll play a lot of minutes. But I think going into the next game, he just needs to relax, settle down, and just play the game like how he normally would. Set pieces, I said, after about 10, 15 minutes into the first half, I said, I can tell straight away.
Speak on it.
I can tell straight away just from the first 10, 15 minutes of that first half, set pieces had gone from like a 3 or 4 out of 10 to about an 8 out of 10. You could tell the different type of corners that we were taking. Overall, like, I was really, really happy with that performance. Do I think that Haaland should have got a goal? Yeah. Do I think that Doku should have got a goal from that Cherki pass? Yeah. Do I think that Foden should have got a goal from that Cherki pass? Yeah. If the thing is, right, we're talking about inches. If Doku buries that chance that he had in the second half, and Foden buries that chance in the second half, Cherki walks off that pitch with 2 assists. So, and the only reason he didn't was because of 2 really, really good saves from the goalkeeper. So overall, like, I'm happy with that performance. Do I think that we could have played a little bit better? Yeah. Do I think we still looked a little bit flaky at the back on the counter attack? Yeah. But all of those things will take time. It's pre-season. We're not going to go full ham now. Like, yes, it's a competition, but it's a playing against a team that we would expect to win, and we did comfortably win. They had their chances, but so did we. Overall, I was happy. Another game like that on Sunday going into Monday morning, and the real telling one for me will be Juventus, because we lost to Juventus in the Champions League last season. we'll be able to sort of compare ourselves now where we were at that point of last season, and I think we can come away with a win. I don't see why we can't.
The one thing I will say before I bring Ozzy and Rich Allen, sorry, Rich. Whoa!
Jesus.
Are you telling me you're number one? The one thing I will say, the thing about Turkey is, I said something a couple of weeks back, and I think, and this isn't me, oh my God, I know. When I was watching him, because I haven't watched him a lot, I don't know a lot about him. I'm not one of these who said, you know, I've watched 65 games of a player and I know his ins and outs and I know his breakfast habits. I don't. I've watched very little of him. When I have watched him, he is a little bit of a ball tricker. He likes to flick up a little flick. And I think that's where he was trying to add. I think he was trying to do that a little bit. And I did say, so Pep's going to knock that out of him.
Whoa. What are you doing? We don't do that at City.
It might take a month, but Pep will be like, no. We don't flick up all over our heads and try. And that's the bit. And that's all I think. You got to remember, he's only been with us 2 weeks.
Yeah, if that, yeah. 2
weeks. I've had longer holidays than he's had a City career at the minute. And people have judged already. It's like, what? And, you know, I mean, by the way, before we go on, I'll read you the bench out because this says it all for me. Ortega, Moreno, Diaz, Stones, Haaland, Nico Gonzalez, Rodri, Gundogan, Bernardo, Aït-Nouri, Gavardio, Akanji, Nunez, Echeverri, Hushinov, and Oscar Bob. The only players who got on, were 5 of them. Now, these are players who have not even touched grass yet. Ortega, Diaz, Stones, Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, Aït-Nouri, Gavardio, Akanji, Echeverri, Hushinov. They've not even touched grass. And we're sat doing this panic stations of that was in why didn't we play our strongest 11? I know what Khaldun said about we want to win, and I think we do, but I think you could tell when Pep's daughter sat next to him on a bench, happy as Larry. Pep's got his daughter there, the family's orange. Pep's not taking. Pep's like, we win it, great. We don't. I don't think Pep's taking this in a.
The other thing, Martin, like I was trying to get at with the whole Bayern Munich thing before. Like Bayern Munich put their starting 11 out against Auckland, right? The starting 11, which you would expect them to play with most games. Like that was their strongest 11 by far. Now doing that against Auckland, like your best players are, bearing in mind, like you've got a Kane who's in his 30s. You know, you've got Muller who's, you know, going to be leaving at some point. You know, you've got Koeman who's got to be close to his 30s, if not already in his 30s. You've got a lot of players in that team that are in their 30s or close to being in their 30s. If one of them gets tackled, they're out for pretty much the season. If, you know, if Harry Kane gets wiped out, he could quite easily tear his ACL, be out for the entire season. And for what? The fact that you've played him against Auckland. Like, why? He wasn't needed. Granted, he didn't score, but like, and this is the point I'm trying to make. When we're playing Wydad, why do we need to risk playing Haaland for 90 minutes when we know he's got when he's injury prone with that foot? You know, all it takes is for one meaty tackle to go in on him. He could be out for the entire season for the sake of playing Wydad. Like, there's no point. It does not make sense. By all means, give them minutes, but they don't need to start and they don't need to play a lot of minutes. Like, these are the games that you should be seeing Kusanov, Echeverri, Aït-Nouri, Cherki, Foden. You know, all of these players, you know, because Foden didn't get much game time towards the end of last season. So you'd want him to have minutes now going into the next season to build up his confidence. Like, you'd want him to play against the likes of Wydad and get a goal and an assist because it's going to do his confidence the world of good. Now, we don't need to be spamming out Rodri for 90 minutes, who's just come back from an ACL injury, because you're going to risk having him out for another 6-8 months again.
Also,
yeah, I mean, I kind of echo a lot of what Trevor was saying there. You know, I do think we can't judge this team, manager, and the back room and the players too harsh at the moment. Do you know what I mean? This is a Morocco team that we've never played before, that, you know, have come into this competition, probably kind of like looking up at these players and going, wow, I'm playing up against Haaland, I'm playing up against Foden, you know. So
he meant plates, by the way, Martin.
That's what I was checking. I'm like, what's he asking? He's been smashing yet?
On the last stream, I said to Steve Black, I said, "Oh, he'll be away smashing plates for a couple of weeks."
All right,
yeah.
Sorry, go on, Ozzy.
Sorry, Ozzy.
That's right. Yeah. So my kind of thoughts on Cherki is that, in all honesty, I'm really not going to judge him in this competition, to be honest. And I think we all need to kind of keep our levels in check, really, when it comes to him, because for me, I think a lot of people, I mean, like you, Martin, I've not seen a great deal of him. I've seen highlights reels. I saw him in the France game where he scored that wonder goal. And I think that's where a lot of City fans are putting their kind of thoughts right now, is that wonder goal he scored for France and that debut. I think we just need to kind of give him time. You know, he's a very young player. Yes, he's got the skill, he's got the tricks, I think he's got it all, really, to go on and have a great career with City and be possibly a superstar. But he's so young. I think we just need to kind of, as we always say, especially on this channel, you know, you've got to give players a good season to bed in and for Pep to start moulding and start, you know, making them understand the way he wants them to play. So yeah, for me, he was, you know, it was all right. There wasn't a lot from him, but from what I saw, I liked. But for me, and I said this in our private chat to the other guys, you know, I did say that for me, I was looking forward to Lijnders a lot more than any player that we've brought in so far, because for me, he's that plug in and play player. And I think it was really important that we got this midfield signing right, because, you know, we saw what happened with Nunes, where Pep just basically said he's not good enough. He's not good enough to play in our midfield. So for me, this signing was so important, because for me, he is the Gundo replacement. He is that guy who's going to come in and drive the game. He's going to be looking to break the lines and to thread those balls through to the attackers. And I saw that last night from him. And I think we all were just like, wow, you know, this is definitely a player that has got, you know, a long way to go still. But I think so far, from what I've seen, I've been very impressed. And I just think that, like I said, we need to get this so right with him and this signing. I look forward to seeing him in the tournament more. For the rest of the squad, you know, I thought everyone played pretty well, to be honest. I thought the standouts were Ederson and Aki. I thought Aki was brilliant at the back. You know, he really controlled the back line. You know, when Reece was having a bit of a wobble at the beginning, you know, he stood in. You know, he put him in his place, and I just thought it was brilliant. And I thought Ederson had a really solid game. You know, he also commanded his area, and I think it's really important that for going forward, I think that's an area where we just need to keep him at least for another season.
Yeah,
and he looked like his head was in the game. More importantly, where I think we've all questioned that. I thought Doku again had a really good game, and I know there's his critics out there, but I do feel that, you know, he looked like he was playing a really good game, and I think with having Lijnders there, finding those balls, you know, to play him on again, brilliant. And as you said, Bevo, like Foden for me, you know, just looked so happy to be on the pitch and happy to play. Which is what we haven't seen from him in a while. So I'm hoping that this competition just kind of lets him slowly kind of build in and get to the tempo that we all know he's got.
Smile. Sorry, it was the smile he played with yesterday. I've not seen Foden smile like that in a long time. And he looks like he's lost a bit of weight. He looks like he's just, I mean, I will say it's a couple of super chats I was going to chuck in, which I think people don't like this. And I don't understand it, but it is mad. I know people who were there House captain was there yesterday, and like I said, he did send me, was in the stadium. Fans need to realise how much that heat played into how we had to play yesterday. And I said that during the watch along. And then Coos put in, thank you so much for the $4.99. Thank you so much. The heat was crazy yesterday, guys. It's like 100 Fahrenheit degrees. No shades in the stadium. All my friends got sunburned. I understand why City was slow. MCFC Luke, lads, as Bevel, you probably seen this and others, he was at the stadium yesterday. Yeah. He moved seats to get out of the damn sun. He was dying. And then what I'm seeing in the second half is everyone's going, we're 2-0 up, run. Why are they not running down the wing? Why are they not doing this? I ain't running around in 90 degree. I'm sorry, piss off when I'm in the middle of the tournament.
The sun was at the peak of the day as well, so you could barely see the shadows of the players.
You will see it very different in that Al-Ain game, because it's at night. It's like 9-10 o'clock at night kickoff. It's going to be very different. I know people. I would be more worried. Bebel's hit the nail on the head. If the players are going hell for leather in 90-odd degree heat in the first game, and someone snaps somewhere. And then we're all coming in. Well, why were they giving it their all like that? What they're doing that for?
Yeah, but then the thing is, what had happened then is you'd get these mutants going, oh, well, why did he play Rodri? Because now he's injured again.
So he did it over Aki yesterday. I thought Aki did all right yesterday and was actually very good. And people are going, look, do you remember when he did when he turned his ankle in the second half? Everyone went, oh, like shit themselves. So I'm in the watch and everyone shit themselves, wondering what was going to happen. I don't get it. People have just got to calm themselves. The scoreline does not matter. I get Bayern 10-0. I get Juve smash people 5-0. So what?
I think one of the things for me that didn't help yesterday is I noticed it with the commentary. Where the guy turned around and went, oh, you can still see the soft underbelly of City, because on a couple of their counter attacks that they had, they were kind of leaping the ball across over us and driving it out wide. And actually, they were caught offside pretty much all the time. And that's because City were playing a very high line, but they were playing the offside trap really well, because they didn't want to have to run and sprint back and have to defend so much. They were playing that high line, so they didn't have to. I thought they played really well, but for me, it was definitely the commentary of just like pinpointing and criticising where really and truly, I just thought it was.
I didn't have the commentary on, thankfully. That's a plus in watch-alongs. You don't have the commentary on.
I'll be glad you didn't, mate, because I thought the commentary was pretty bad, actually. And some of the, I think it was an ex-Chelsea player as well, where he was kind of talking about the Rico Lewis challenge, and just the way he talked about it. Definitely.
Yeah. We'll get into that in a bit.
Over the top.
Rich, come on. We want you to be
Alan. I'm Alan. I blame Nunes. I blame Nunes. Nunes.
We won 19-0. Why didn't we win 19-0?
I'm still angry about how bad Otamendi was for Benfica the other night.
I'd love to have been a fly on the wall, just on that. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when I salute the General, by the way. Salute you, General.
Yeah,
and I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when Otamendi leapt like a damn salmon and buried that in the goal. Yeah. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall in Alan's room when Otamendi did that the other night.
Yeah, about 20 years after he wrote him off, finished forever, even though Otamendi's going to end his career with, more medals than General Galtieri. So
started out this year.
No, it was I'm struggling to see anyone gets emotional. I mean, for me, I'll be honest, it was a pre-season friendly. Still, I know the tournament isn't a pre-season friendly, and that will change, but it was players. Pep's daughter on the bench, players coming back, having a bit of a laugh, sunshine, walking around, and anyone reading anything good or bad into it, honestly, it's ridiculous, and I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be writing off anyone or writing on anyone's City careers based on a walking football match, which was a friendly, and it was it was just nice to see them smiling. Great to see Phil back and looking himself.
Great finish, Rich. Great finish on that first time left foot bang.
Yeah, it was. But I'm sure he does that in training every day.
No, it's that hairstyle. It's that new hairstyle. Have you noticed they've all got new hairstyles? It's the new haircut, isn't it? Even Gundo's got a fresh trim down. Everyone's got new trims. Pep took his daughter out. Some of the kids are out in bloody Disney World over in Orlando. They've not gone over to Philadelphia. They went to Orlando. Bit of time out with it. I was just chilling. Pep's like, golf course today, lads. A cheeky 18. Let's go.
Popped down to Oakmont and shot 137. Yeah.
Rich, we know you're back up.
No, I think anyone would at Oakmont. I think
that's a great point, Leonard. Our back four was it wasn't even second string because Victor Hayes wasn't even used last season. No. And he was, by the way, I thought he was very good as well.
He did give me my comedy moment of the game though when they tried that new free kick setup and they all went offside and everyone ran back on side when it's taken apart from Victor Hayes who just stood there.
I felt sorry for him when that, but
I think he missed the training.
Can I ask a question? I need to know whether this is me. Because I asked this show on the watch along, but I have now heard 3 or 4 other people say it. Did anyone think that ball was going either running really slow, like the grass wasn't cut or something? That ball looked very weird. And when it did that really weird spin back on Victor Hayes yesterday, and he was like, where's that gone? I was like, I felt sorry for him. Because at the time I went, look at him, he's all over the place. And then I hadn't noticed the spin on the ball. I just hadn't noticed it. I don't know what football they're using, but I ain't buying one. Looks crap. Looks like a cheap flyaway the way it moves around.
It's all. Do you know what? The whole thing's a bit of a facade, really. You've got the players walking out.
The introductions. Hi.
Yeah, they're all like I'm telling you now. The fans probably don't want that. The players definitely don't want that. The players look awkward as hell walking out. They're all like.
I felt like I'm watching WWE. I thought it was like a Royal Rumble. They're all coming out there like the buzzer.
I'm waiting for Triple H's anthem to come on when Ireland walks out. Are you ready?
I've never seen it like that. I'm like, they don't even do that in normal sports in America. Like, what are we doing?
Ryan? They do that in the NBA all the time.
Yeah, they do it in the NBA.
Do it in NBA. Yeah. That's the only one to do it in.
Yeah. But it's the American thing, though, to do, isn't it? In all honesty, I mean, I'm not that particularly bothered. Yeah, you're right, Bevo. I think the players didn't look particularly comfortable doing it, but I don't think it's the be end and all end all.
I don't know. Listen, I get it. If you had a fan who is taking this serious, big up yourself and have a great time. I get it, but. People are like this. I said this a few weeks back. Pep's taking this half serious and half pre-season. I don't think we're fully guns into this at the minute.
I think he's definitely, from what I can see in the training side of it, he's definitely taking it seriously. I think the club are taking it seriously because if you think about it, Martin, the amount that we can win from that effectively pays for all of our transfers we've made.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that's more of a board thing than a Pep thing.
Pep
will be more bothered about the fitness rather than the money.
Yeah, it'll be getting the squad ready for the Premier League, and if they're looking good now, then that's only going to help.
I'm going to come back to that because I've got a third. Well, I'll do it now. Actually, why does Pep love putting number 10s in the false 9? Because we've only got Haaland as the actual direct striker. Mamouche is not a direct striker. I think people have misprofiled Mamouche. Mamouche was not a striker at Frankfurt. Look where he was. He was coming off the wings to score. He wasn't an out 9.
He was a second striker.
So, yeah.
Akatike was the striker, wasn't he?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where people have got. We haven't got an actual backup striker within the club, really. We've got people who can go there. But I don't have an issue with the false 9 because I have no problem with Cherky, Foden and Mamouche rotating around like
we won the league for like 2 years straight.
Yeah. 1 minute Foden's 9, then it was Cherky, then it was Mamouche. I have no problem with that.
To be honest, though, Martin, I think that's something that we've missed over the last few seasons is having more than just Haaland putting the ball in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? We've needed other players to step up, and now we're starting to see that we've got some of these players like Motion Cheeky. I do feel that the goals are going to be spread around the team again, which is great for me. I think that's exactly what we need. We can't just rely on Haaland going forward.
Yeah, I mean, Pardo's got a point. Superior player of the match. Wasn't man of the match.
Yeah.
Superior man of the match. What was that? The same man of the match.
Such a marketing scam, the whole thing.
Can you smell what Bebo? All right, Rock, calm down. Put the lights up and he's just like, listen, you've been Mr. Negative all day, you. Don't you start, you Pat, with your, Pep out, Rico shit. Listen, we all know what you're doing, you Pat.
I mean, Rico is shit, but
yeah. Cherky needs to look. Lijnders looks happy. See, the thing is, Jack, this is one thing I will say. I actually thought Lijnders and Pep's communication was a lot better yesterday. I saw communication between the backroom staff yesterday. And maybe it could be Lijnders is going to be a bad cop. Pep will be the good cop. Maybe we're going to play good cop, bad cop scenario where Lijnders is the shouter and the baller. And Pep's like, I'll be your mate. You know, like the opposite way around, because Arteta used to be the nice guy. Remember Raheem Sterling saying Arteta was really nice and we could go to him and Pep was...
and then he joined Arsenal and realised he was...
Yeah, maybe that's just switched over now. Pep's going to play the nice guy this year, but Lijnders is going to be the bad cop, the arsehole. And that's what you need. That's what we've been crying out for. But I just think, I seriously think the reaction to yesterday, I don't think it was yesterday. I think it's PTSD. People have got PTSD on last season. And I understand that a little bit. But for me, I'm with Caldoon. That was last season. We've got to turn the page, forget it, and move on.
Oh, see, for me, season's gone.
We can't be going back to... Because here's the thing, what I will say, just to play devil's advocate a little bit. When we won the treble the year before, we won 4 in a row the year before, I got told by some, I don't give a shit about last season. Last season's gone.
I was one of them people.
Right, so the people who were being negative on last season we were crap, that's my response right back. Last season's gone. Forget about it. Move on. You can't play. Some people at the minute are just being victim eldred. They want to moan for moan's sake now.
Yeah.
They're the kind of people who'd moan at a game of tiddlywinks.
Yeah. No, like I've always said to you, Martin, like there has to come a point. Yeah, we won the treble. Yeah, we won 4 in a row. But there has to be a point. And Cal, and I've said this for ages, and Caldoon actually said this in his interview that he did. He said, well, that was then. You know, if we want to continue to be a successful club, we've got to do it. We've got to think about the future, not about the past. And like I said back then, you know, why are we still going on about the treble? Yeah, it's great, but this is next season now. Like, and that's what you have to do to be a successful club. And not saying that I'm not ever going to talk about the treble because it was one of the greatest years of my life as a City fan. But you know, if we want to continue with our success and continue to head down the right path, we have to think about next season. Oh, that's a stinker of a comment.
Well, Amy, it's your opinion. I completely disagree with you. He got man of the match. From every single outlet.
No, he didn't. He got superior player of the match.
Superior player of the match. Sorry, all right. No, my bad. He got the highest standards on SofaScore. BBC got man of the match. Come on, what are we doing here, Amy? Come on. That's a little bit of an agenda, That's it, and it's fine. Listen, I have no problem with an agenda or I dislike a player. Just own it.
Pep's moulded Foden into the player that he is today. Pep moulded Foden into the player when he won the PFA Player of the Year, the Young Player of the Year. Like that is all because of the success of Phil Foden in his career at City, which has been dictated by Pep. So, okay.
She's not an Arsenal fan, actually, because there's been a lot of links, ridiculous links to Arsenal.
Okay, was a see, I could
No,
tell
there
yes, that was cut too long. See, that's what I mean. This is why I love people who are at the game have really got a better insight into it, which is great. Rich, Rico Lewis took a lot of poundings yesterday. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think he was our worst fullback. Thought our worst fullback. I hate saying this, and this is not an agenda, because I thought he was phenomenal last season. I thought O'Reilly got absolutely torn to shreds by Amrabat. Absolutely torn to shreds.
And it wasn't even the good Amrabat either.
Yeah, it wasn't even a good Amrabat. It was his evil brother.
I think it was the good Amrabat, to be honest.
If
we're honest, I thought he was a very good player. I thought he was close to getting man of the match from the losing side, to be honest, and he was dangerous. And I think if you're calling out Rico in that game when I think he had a less bad game or a better game than O'Reilly, then it is agendasome. But maybe people just don't like his new haircut. He was at least a second quicker over 50 meters with the hair. His new elite sprinter's haircut. Now, the defense was just, I think Pep realizing the importance of resting Diaz after the Nations Cup, and Stones probably isn't quite ready, and I'm surprised Kuzanov didn't get a game, but I guess he wanted to play Rice. Nunes, probably wanting to give him a bit of a rest, and Allen's been in his ear, so giving Nunes a rest. So yeah, the defense was really second string, third string.
I'd say you're getting to third string. I wouldn't even say
and
second. John Stones or something is your second string, or a Kanja. We weren't even at second string on the defense yesterday. We were so going down the line. And as I said, I think Pep's already said he's going to make 10 changes. 10. There was a meltdown because Ilkay Gundogan got on before Nico Gonzalez. Right, what are we doing?
Are you sure it's not Nico Williams?
That was the one player I was surprised not. I was surprised not to see Nico. Actually.
Did you see that, Rich? Sorry, have you seen that? Pep's doing the post. He went Nico Gonzalez will be the backup to Rod. No, he said he went Nico Williams will be the backup to Rodra, and then everyone stopped. He stopped and he went Gonzalez, and then he realised what he'd said. Ben was like, Nico Williams, we signing him? Is he coming in?
He's obviously been watching Barca.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, mate? You're not signing him. Was that a little dig to the board? I want Nico Williams in at my football club.
So that's why he didn't play much last year, because he forgot that he was even in the squad. He's been looking for a Nico Williams.
He saw the wrong Nico, that's what it is.
Someone did put a hint to the board. He wants Nico Williams. No, it's not. Too many frigging Nicos in this world.
This goes back to the day when, AC Milan signed Luther Blissett, but they thought they were signing John Barnes.
I'm not being funny. We've got 2 Nicos in our squad, and he still didn't even say the surname of one of them.
Yeah, but Ada was trash yesterday. It was so bad he was invisible on the pitch. No, but he's captain. He's going to play every game. Couldn't even get off the bench. I'm sorry. I'm laughing because if I don't laugh, I'm going to lose my shit on these meltdowns at the minute. The meltdown just went off the planet yesterday. It was too much, too far. Like I said, Liverpool, Arsenal first. All I give a shit about for me, and it's just me personally, is that Wolves game. As long as we are right for the Wolves game, fit, fiddled, got everything. This is the time when you sort all the kinks out and you experiment. True City man said, why is he experimenting? I said, well, when do you want him to experiment? During the season. This is the time to experiment. This is it. Try things out. Because the one thing I did notice yesterday, did anyone think people were shithousing out of tackles yesterday? Because Oscar Bob went in for one and went, oh, no, I'm not doing that. Bye.
Well, Nico didn't, did he?
No, apart from him. I've got on hostage. Rico Lewis's red card. I'm going to be straight. the tackle on Mamouche, where he literally got a football boot in the bollocks for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason, because follow through, my God. And then Rico Lewis wins the ball, wins it, and sadly, yes, he did catch him in the face, total action, and the ref goes straight red. And then VAR even back it up. When Mamouche was sexually assaulted 40 minutes earlier, poor guy. Sorry, and that ref cam, fuck me.
Coming
is that
in.
a camera? Is that a dick and a set of balls on his head? What are we doing? Well, where's the game going? Where is the game going?
I've just come back. What's happened?
We're talking about the Rico red, the bloody ref cam. And
It was nice seeing Doku's goal through the ref cam though.
Oh, I mean, it's great for the clicks and the views, but I'm like, balls, what are we doing here?
I quite like
Universal
that.
Soldier cam,
I do quite like that ref cam. I will be honest.
I just want to watch it all next season. What Bernardo's saying to the refs, because Bernardo's such a shit house. It'll be brilliant.
You're a dickhead. Get out.
I want a live feed of Bernardo like going chirping in someone's face.
It made me laugh, though. It did make me laugh. Like someone said, Fernandinho was captain and didn't play a lot of games. Fernandinho, this club captain.
Vinny was captain and didn't play many games.
Vinny was captain and didn't play a lot.
Yeah, he played less than half the games every last 4 seasons.
Do you know? I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, the Rodri thing. I think Rodri needs to concentrate on his ACL than being a captain.
Kyle Walker was captain. We shipped him off to AC Milan.
Yeah, I think Rodri for me needs to concentrate wholly next season on getting fit, getting right, sorting out his game. Diaz, I'm sorry, his comment after Southampton did me on captaincy. I went, I don't want my cat, and apparently, so I did get told, he's he's a field mouse in the dressing room. If people start going in the dressing room, Diaz is like just sat in the corner going, I'm not getting involved in that. Right. So just because you see a player on the field does not make them a good captain in the dressing room. Not everyone is a vocal person.
That treble season, I did see him in the dressing room from that documentary, and he led like a captain.
Yeah, apparently that's all stopped now. I don't know why.
It's because he's.
Do not say her name. Do not say her name.
Why?
Don't, because that's where everyone blames it on now. Maya Jammer.
It is. It's Maya Jammer, isn't it? Mrs. Love Island.
No, I'm not. Listen, we've still got. There's loads.
I mean, good on him. She's a 10 out of 10. Good on him.
The only thing I didn't like yesterday, my only negative from yesterday, didn't like Haaland smiling when he missed that 1-on-1.
No, I didn't like that.
I get it's pre-season, and I'm like, don't be doing that in a month. You do that in a month.
There's a little bit of Alan in you.
No, a
little bit of Alan,
and he smiled about it, and that's what I went. This is pre-season. Some of these.
We pay him 500 bags a week. We expect him to hit the target. Do you know what I mean? Like, but when he does, he's smiling and laughing about it. No, I'm not about that.
No, I think it was the follow through. I don't think he could stop, but I don't think it was a red.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh on Erling now. I think we need to see Erling smile. He didn't smile for 6 months in the second half of last season.
He's lost his bestie, you know. You see him on Instagram. Lost his bestie. His bestie's not there anymore. He's showing empty seating, going Grealish. Lost his bestie. Poor man.
I don't like that either. Like,
well, you don't like him having mates?
No,
wow, Bevo, that's harsh.
Bloody hell, Bevo's a right tight son. He's gone worse than me. He's like, you're not even allowed to mate anymore.
No, but it was like
where he said
like he put the message out saying Grealish, where are you? And it's like, you know, he hasn't been invited. Like, why are you stirring the pot? Like, you know, he's probably going to leave. Like, stop shit stirring and focus on hitting, like, getting goals and hitting the target. focus on your job rather than the reason why other players aren't in the team.
I think it comes back to what Akanji said. I think there is truth in Akanji's comment. I think some players are like, nah, we win. This is what I mean. I get the club thing, but not all players will be raring to go 95 minutes. Let's go. I think if we beat Al-Ain and we beat Juventus and we get deeper into it, I think we'll get more serious. I just think this group stage, I think, is fitness, role. Because I had a look the other day, even if we change all the 11 against Al-Ain, yeah, there will still be players who will not even been on the pitch yet.
Well, there's
So
25
players we took 27 players.
Is it 27? Right.
Yeah. There will still be players that are on the bench that will not have touched grass at Al-Ain, even if he changes all the 11. So, because the thing is, your backline changes. Who do you play? Kushinov? Do you play Stones? Do you play Stones, Gavardio, Kushinov, and Akanji have not all touched grass. Ain't Nouri. So there's 5 defenders. You can only play 4. One of them's still going to be sat there not doing anything.
One of them you could play in
midfield. Do not play Stones. Do not play Stones.
I would probably give Stones the. I would probably give. We ain't beating Juve, Martin, to play so quick, but we don't know where we'll be then.
Ideally, we'll play Stones or get injured for 2.5 months. We need Stones to get an injury just to September so that we don't let Bayern win the Champions League with him in the team.
But Lijnders isn't the manager of Jack West. I get what he's saying. I agree. We did look fuming, but he's not the manager still. So
but he's playing to the audience as well.
Yeah. It's a weird one.
They all are.
Lijnders won't be my Pep. There's only one.
I think the thing with Lijnders for me is that he's coming in and you can always see that he's had some sort of mark on the players and on the way we're set up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you got to remember that Pep is still the one in charge. At the end of the day, Pep was doing all the talking yesterday. He was the one instructing players on the pitch what to do and what not to do. And I just think, I think there's been a lot of emphasis on what he's going to come in and do. He's going to suddenly bring this Klopp philosophy. He's suddenly just going to make us play fast-paced football, the rock and roll football that that Liverpool played. And I just think we have to remember that that's not what Pep is about. Pep is about control, and there's still going to be elements at that times. I think we have to remember we won titles, we won trebles, we won 4 in a row because of that control, and Pep isn't going to give that up.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it, because if you look at sort of training sessions and things like that, he's been getting really heavily involved in the training session side of it. So it gives Pep a little bit of a break to take a bit of a back step, because you look at how he's been over the last few years, I haven't got anything against the guy, but when Juan Malia was with us, he didn't seem to do an awful lot. It felt to me it was almost like whatever Pep said he agreed with. He didn't really challenge him. And I feel like you need sometimes someone to challenge Pep. Imagine if we had someone to challenge Pep when we went into that Champions League final against Chelsea. Ultimately, Pep would have still made his own mind up and probably still gone without Fernandinho or Rodri at CDM. But if you have someone there that's going to challenge him, and not necessarily challenge him, but give him a different way of thinking, he's not there. For example, I've done my job now for 15 years. If someone comes in and says to me, "Oh, I wouldn't do something that way, I'd do it this way," I'm going to listen, because sometimes you can just get stuck in your ways a little bit, and it's always nice to have a bit of insight from someone else. So I'm all for it. I'm all for Pep Lijnders coming in with his ideas and and adding value to the team rather than just sitting there and going, yes, no, yes, sir, no, sir, please, sir. Like, I like the fact that he's going to go there and challenge things and take a bit more control of training sessions to give Pep the back step to work on philosophies and things. Because last season, Pep basically did everything from what I can see. He took control of training sessions. He was going through a divorce with his wife, and along with everything else that he was going through, he's now able to take that back step and go, okay, well, now I can actually work on a system that's going to work, rather than just not being able to invest any time into it because he's just trying to string a team together. Like, I'm all for it. Like, I'm all for that.
The only thing I would say is I've never seen so much hoo-ha around an assistant manager before.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Because
that's what I'm a bit. There's a few
Klopp's
fans.
assistant, that's why. It's because he's Klopp's assistant.
Yeah, I think that's what some of this is about. Because people are talking like Jack's put in the comments. I'd be interested to see what Lijnders is not the manager. But we're making such a. I understand. Yes, he's going to have a say. He's going to challenge Pep, but he's not the manager. It's like the deputy head teacher at the school helps the head teacher 100%, but the head teacher is the one that does the sacking and the hiring and the firing and everything else.
But I also think, Martin, there's an element of this where it comes from Klopp's assistant. It comes from the Liverpool where they played the sexy heavy metal football that everyone loved to watch and everyone was rooting for and everybody wanted. And I think, going back to last season, I think because we saw a lot of sideways passes, a lot of backwards passes, a lot of, that control where it was just so negative in a lot of respects that I think people have just thought, well, Lijnders is now going to come in and we're not going to see Pep play this ball. He's not going to do sideways. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be, and that's where it's come from for me.
Yeah, I do. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I do think there's still a little bit of an undercurrent of Pep resentment going on by some. I think some, because the only thing is, like I said, it's nothing against, listen, and Luke is spot on with his comment earlier. You need someone to challenge Pep, but it's no longer challenging. It's people are more intrigued in Pep Lijnders than they are Pep Guardiola. I think there's still. People have lost some. I'm going to be honest. I think some fans have lost confidence.
Do you know the reason? Do you know the reason why people are interested in Pep Lijnders though? It's because it boils so much piss. Like, he's come from that Liverpool team where he said, "I will never be an assistant to anyone again in the Premier League. I will never come back to the Premier League." And within a year or so, he's back being Pep's assistant, who he couldn't beat for the best part of God knows how many years. So, like, it's just because it's I would say it was more rival fans sort of trying to get involved and being like, oh, this about Pep Lijnders, that about Pep Lijnders. Oh, he wasn't even that good when he was with us. Like, the one thing that I've heard, Martin, and it's laughable. It really, really is laughable. So the amount of comments that I've seen when we signed James French, the set piece coach from Liverpool, and he goes, "Ha! You signed James French, our set piece coach at Liverpool. Our set pieces aren't even that good." You base your entire history off that set piece from that corner you scored against Barcelona.
He wasn't their set piece coach anyway. He was their opposition analyst.
Can I say, by the way, Cornelius, member for 1 year anniversary. Big up yourself, mate. Thank you so much, Cornelius. Member for a year. Big up yourself, mate. Anyway, Jack, you don't have to argue about it, mate. I'm not doing it again. You don't agree. We move on. Anyway, the one thing, that's my only thing. Listen, I 100% get it. But I just think some people I've suddenly promoted Pep Lijnders to manager without Pep knowing it. That's the bit I'm not getting. They've promoted Lijnders into the management. Lijnders, yes. Am I intrigued to what Lijnders thought? Of course I am. But Pep Guardiola is still the manager.
And did Pep Lijnders failed when he actually became a manager last season?
But there you go. This is what I mean. I'd rather people just say that they've lost faith in Guardiola. I'd rather people be honest with it. Just be honest with it. I don't mind agendas, just own the agendas. I've always said this. Don't mind an agenda. I have a pro Foden agenda, but I own it. I love Foden. He's my favourite player. I don't deny it.
There's a Rico Lewis agenda as well.
Don't mind agendas. We laugh at Alan because Alan has a Nunes agenda, but he admits he's got a Nunes agenda.
And you have you have an anti-attacking wingers agenda as well, Martin.
He does, yeah.
No, I don't. I just think football's changed.
I'm a massive pro Edison. Massive.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having it. See, this is where I do disagree a bit. Pep needs to earn our trust back. One bad year in 8 years, he needs to earn trust back. No. That's OTT for me, LB98. Your opinion, but I disagree with you. I think
our worst season under Pep, and he finishes third.
Bearing in mind, we won more games
than our trust back. Come on.
We won more games than Arsenal.
Because I'm going to say it, Bevo, our fan base have become spoiled.
Yeah, it has.
But again, I don't mind fans being spoiled. Just say, yeah, I am spoiled. So wait, listen, I listen to Hamza a lot. Do you know why I like Hamza? Because he owns what he says. Don't mind Hamza because he owns it. He goes, you know what? Yeah, I do want to win everything. I am it. Great. Own it. Just own it. Don't say I don't have an agenda when you do.
Why wouldn't you want to win everything? End of the day, you're playing these competitions to win. You don't play in these competitions to take part. You should want to win everything. And if we don't, we don't. But you should want to.
Unless you're United.
Going to Liverpool, we are finished. Some people would not have survived under Stuart Pearce. They really wouldn't have done. Good evening, David. How are you, my friend? Good evening, citizens. Hello from God's country. Bloody, are you warm up there? Is it still freezing up in Newcastle? I've heard it's freezing in Newcastle even in the summertime. Martin, anyone who thinks that Pepper's burnt out hasn't got all their chairs at home. Listen, it's all opinions. Last season wasn't all down to Pep. Multiple factors were at play, falling off where we did. We were coming off 4 in a row to get 5 in a row. Been crazy. Sometimes you need a reset. Yep. Disagree. Some need to re-establish their belief in Pep. Yep. Karma, guys. I don't mean like that bad way, but come on, some of the lineups last season were questionable because of the availability. 98 for me, the availability.
Yeah.
Form and availability, and Pep did make errors. 100%. Pep made errors. How he's spoiled holding standard. I'm sorry, Jack, but where we will disagree, I do think fans have become spoiled, become more about winning than loving the club.
The worst thing that we could have ever done as a club was winning the treble.
There's nothing wrong with having the ambition and wanting to win every competition. You know, it's something that we want to drive at because it's what sport's about, winning as many cups as you can. But you also have to take things into perspective that you're not always, there are other teams on the pitch that just want to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Liverpool want to win. Arsenal want to win. Villa want to win.
And we have to remember that shit. Well, the other thing we have to remember is that the Premier League, compared to other, you have to look at other leagues in Europe that mainly like Bayern Munich win their league pretty much every season. Barcelona or Real Madrid win their league most seasons. PSG win the French league pretty much most seasons. We're the only league really where we haven't seen that dominance until now by City to win the league so often. You know, you look at the past decade, it's been City winning it. You know, Liverpool have now lifted it twice. You know, so really and truly, we've done something that most clubs can only dream of doing. And they're going to keep on trying to do it because the league is so rich that you've got the newcomers like Newcastle who have got the money now that they want to win the next Premier League. And they probably will.
Yeah, listen, to each their own. To each their own. And like I said,
I mean, I don't want to say this, but it's just a matter of time before Arsenal get their hands on a trophy. I don't like admitting it because
the thing is,
reckon,
the standards thing.
Do you reckon? Don't you think that club has got an excuses mentality at every level?
Yeah.
I actually think maybe they're going to drop away without winning anything because
I don't know.
When you see a fan base making it saying, "No, we're not going to win the league," when they see the fixtures come out, that just shows a mentality.
You had a striker and a winger to that team, and that is ready to go. I don't like to say it, but it is. You know, they finished second for like what 3 years in a row now. But at some point, they're going to win something.
Well, maybe,
but I think winning the league, is just it seems to be not as. I think the problem is that Arteta he's the nearly man. You know, he can't get those players across the finishing line. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Arsenal
he's too emotionally invested. He loses control.
They're the Buffalo Bills, Arsenal.
I mean, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right.
Yeah, I think there'll be a 30 for 30 show. You know,
if they win something, I'm deactivating Twitter. Like,
yeah, I hope the Buffalo Bills win something before Arsenal do, and I don't know.
Won a European trophy before Arsenal did, and that's saying something.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because they're winning. Their mentality is more is you know, Liverpool always had a little tendency to it, but they actually won stuff and they continually got stuff even during their bad periods. So, you know, they are, whether we like it or not, a bit of a winning machine in some respects over a long period. But Arsenal, I think they've just lost it. I think their first reaction is to look for an excuse about why they're not going to win. Not for, you know, from the manager, it's infecting some of the players. The fan base is completely rife with it. You know, they're more worried about what their excuse is when they don't win than actually trying to win in the first place. Because if they really wanted to win, they'd have signed a striker 2 or 3 years ago. And somehow they just don't want to. They're afraid as a club. From the top down, they're afraid of winning. And therefore they don't.
Yeah, it is. True City then, Patrick. Big up myself, mate. Cornelius there, you want a gift card, by the way. You didn't need to spend $2.49, mate, for that. But big up yourself. Go and give True City man a lot of love. Top channel. We ain't that club anymore. We have standards. Are you Hamza? Sounds like Hamza. Standards. I agree we have standards, but so does every other club. Standards doesn't give you a God divine right to win everything. Got to earn it. But the trouble is, Liverpool have spent. God, how much could Liverpool have spent by the end of this window? Does that mean they've got to win?
Oh, it never gets talked about though, Martin.
Liverpool have just broke the world. They're looking at breaking the transfer record twice.
Yeah, and you know the media are coming out and saying, "Oh, what an absolute bargain! Absolute bargain!" Like, just shut up, man. If that was us, and we'd have paid 20 million less, if we'd have paid 80 million and they paid 100 million, it'd be like, "Oh, cheaters, overspending."
This is true. What Nick says. We have high standards 100%, but it doesn't mean you win every game, every tournament. Spot on.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is? People don't like losing. They're not used to it.
Wait until Pep leaves, then there'll be a meltdown.
Oh, yeah. And listen, no one's saying don't have standards, but there's, like Ozzy said, there's 4 or 5 other clubs that want to win trophies. There's only so many trophies available.
And the league game, and when I talk about the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, we definitely can't count United in this, but you know, you only have to look at the likes of Forest and what they did last season with pushing so many clubs, you know, and pushing themselves into European spots. The Bournemouths, yeah, these clubs have now got the money, they've now got the emphasis to push on and challenge, maybe not for the Premier League, but they're going to definitely try and challenge other clubs to those European spots, which means they're going to try and win more games off the bigger clubs like ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So you can't just say and look at the top six with the normal, you know, Chelsea's, Arsenal's, Liverpool's. You've also got to think about the other teams that are just getting stronger. It's going to get more and more difficult to win a game, let alone a league.
No, I agree, Jack. Yeah, we have spent a lot of money, but like I said, Liverpool have spent that in one window. Never mind two.
Are people forgetting, right? Over the last 5 years, Chelsea, Arsenal, and United have spent 300, 400, and 500 million pounds more than we have. Are people forgetting that? But that never gets talked about. It's City have spent 200 million in 2 windows. What about that? You said, Bevo, the worst thing that City have done is winning. It's one of the best things and one of the worst things that we could have done is winning the treble, because now there's an expectation from the fans that we can just do it every year. As soon as we won the treble that first year, in the second year it was like, we're going to win a treble again. Like,
Martin was at fault for that as well.
To do a treble is ridiculous in itself. Like, off the back of doing 100 points, domestic quad, you know, then go and do 4 in a row. Like, we've done pretty much everything. And because we've done pretty much everything, it's now the expectation of, 4 in a row was good, but let's go make 5 in a row. Let's go make 6 in a row. Let's go win 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Like, when does it end? You know, so winning the treble, in my eyes, is one of the best things and worst things that we could have done, because the expectations from the fans went from there to like that.
Yeah, that's where I agree. I think that's what it meant, and that's where I would agree with. I think it changed expectations where the treble became the norm.
I'm not retracting, I'm explaining my statement.
It became the norm rather than special. And that's the sad thing about it. I think winning 4 in a row was also weird because, like I said, and I listen. I fully understand what he means, Pardo, in that way. I get what you mean. I don't think it means it's shit. It just means it changed the fan base a little bit.
Did I or did I not say that the year that we won the treble was the best year of my life as a City fan?
Yeah. No, but
one of the worst things that we could do, though, is do
not retracting, mate. No one's retracting.
I'm explaining myself because you obviously didn't understand what I meant.
But it's also, you don't want to go as far as like Arsenal go with your Briggs.
I need to do something Briggs for Briggs. I need to make him a mod.
You don't want to go that far, Bevo, where you go to Arsenal levels where they go on about, well, we were unbeaten for a season, we got our gold trophy, because that's all they've got. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing they can come back on people. We don't want to go to that kind of levels of where we did the treble, we did the 4 in a row, and because that's not what it's about.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
Yeah, we don't want to start wearing red and going on about Italy.
What we've seen, we have been so lucky to see what we've seen as City fans
in a short period of time.
Bearing in mind, if it wasn't for Pep and it wasn't for us, like, think of all of the Premier Leagues that Klopp would have won. Like, we've done 4 in a row. Like, that's ridiculous in the Premier League. Absolutely outrageous. It's never been done in the history of the Premier League, and the Premier League's been going since 1992. It's been going for 33 years, and it's never been done.
Never been done in the history of football in this country.
Yeah.
Back to 1860.
Yeah.
But some people just like to moan, to be honest. Like Alan.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
Alan, if we won 38 games and we won 37 of them with a clean sheet and we conceded 1 goal in a 6-1 win, away at West Ham, Alan would still be whinging about it. He likes
for it.
But, City gives him a focus to whinge, and he can get rid of anything he wants to moan about life through City. And there's a lot of people like that.
No, Jack. We mock teams that haven't won anything about history. There's a difference. We mock history. History is still important. Me and you have had this conversation privately. And we mock teams. City have won trophies in the last 18 months to 12 months. Talking about Arsenal who haven't won the league in 20 odd years. That's where we take the piss.
We won a trophy before.
I take
people don't talk about.
I mock people
what is history?
Who don't know the difference between history and trophies. That's what, history of football clubs has got absolutely nothing to do with what trophies have won. It's got to do with how old they are. Notts County. Yeah, no, Notts County have got a far bigger history than United or Liverpool, and that's just a fact. And the fact that history hasn't been a history with quite as many trophies in it doesn't mean they haven't got history. It just means they haven't won as much. And, that's the reality of it. And I mock people who go on about history because they don't even know what history means. They don't support their clubs because of history. They don't support their clubs because of how old the clubs are, what's happened to those clubs. They support them because of trophies and nothing else. And ultimately, that is the definition of a glory fan. So, I won't go on about City's history being about the trophies we won. City's history is about far more than trophies. City's history is as much about going down to Division 2. It's as much about getting relegated when you're champions, getting relegated with 100 goals scored, losing half our team in the 20s because we did something dodgy we had 116 charges and, gave away our team in the pub. There's just that the history of how we helped United in their darkest hours and help their players. After me, that's what history is about. And anyone who thinks history is about a lineup of silver cups doesn't know what history means and doesn't know what life's about.
Well, it doesn't get talked about though. We're seen as these scumbag cheats and this, that, and the other. I'm at the point now.
That's just all that is people making excuses, right? It's a really simple.
Yeah, I'm a scumbag. Yeah, I'm a cheat.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's a really, really simple equation here. There are a lot of people who support their clubs purely for success. They actually build their own self-worth on the success of their club, and that's why they're picking.
And the thing is, we now
and they need an excuse when their club doesn't win.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Because of what we've done over the last 10 plus years, we have that now. We have people that have jumped on the bandwagon and started supporting City because of success. There's certain people on X that you've seen, have I won't name names, but there's people that you see on X that have, for a few years, especially when we won the treble, have been sitting at the Etihad in City kits and raving about City. And then last season, we're at Liverpool, sitting in a Liverpool shirt at Anfield, raving about Liverpool. They just follow success. I've been a City fan my whole life. I've been there, the same as you guys. I'm not here for the trophies. The trophies are great, and the things that we've done are fantastic. But you're so right. What we've achieved as a club, I could have never have dreamed of as a kid. I remember going to school in a Paul Dickoff shirt, getting absolutely crucified, saying to my mate, "Oh, do you reckon we'll win an FA Cup? Do you reckon we've got a Carabao Cup in us?" Or at the time, Carling Cup. Do you reckon we've got a Carling Cup in us before we die? And now somewhat 20 years later, I'm sitting here talking about we've won a treble, we've won 4 in a row, we've done Centurions, we've done domestic quad. At what point does this end? I've seen enough. I'm happy.
But it's not
Yeah,
just about.
no.
It's just not the opposition fans, you know, that have been accusing us since 115. It's been before that. It's been since
it has.
City became what we now are. We won the lottery, you know, got shook hands, pumped all this money in, and the establishment just don't like it.
Yeah, you've got United fans that when there was a sheikh looking at buying United and they ended up getting Sir Jim, all of the United fans were twerking for the sheikh. They were like, "Come and join us." They wouldn't have been cheating oil bastards then, would it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you know, even that, you know, honestly, it's good for us that opposition fans are doing it, because the biggest danger to City is a club like Newcastle, who aren't making excuses, who are focused on building their club to win. And it does worry me that Liverpool are possibly starting to do that. That Liverpool have realised that in the past they got so close and they perhaps didn't do that extra step they needed to stay there. So it worries me that Liverpool are now focused less on the excuses and more on the winning. I think Newcastle are, because that beats us. Anyone who's sitting there saying, "Oh, we haven't won and it's all because of City," they're never going to win, because they're losers. They're making excuses and they're looking for someone else to blame for their own failure. And in life, you know, as an individual, but as a football fan base, whatever, if you're purely looking for excuses about why you failed because of what other people have done, you're never gonna get there. You've got to take ownership for it. And these clubs, and this is why Arsenal need to take ownership for their failure and fix it and do the bloody obvious things like buying a striker that would solve it. If they do that, they might win something. But I don't think they've got the mentality. I think they'd rather take the easy route, which is going, City, you've got oil. They'd rather do that.
Jack West thinks we were wank yesterday.
Do you know what I find funny?
But who cares? That's the point.
Do you know what I find funny? You look at the last few transfer windows where we've not, you know, with the exception of like January, prior to that, we did no business, hardly any business at all. And no one batted an eyelid, right? No one said a word. As soon as City get 3 players in for 108 million quid, you're starting to see around the social circles, how can we compete? How can we compete with that? Like, that's how you know that we're doing something right, is when the "how can we compete" messages start cropping up on the timeline.
There's not a player.
There's a question. Right, because I know you've got to go, Rich. I'm sorry to jump in because I don't want to. We can do it. I promise you will. I know you're debating. We'll get you and Bevel on a show together and you two can debate this for an hour. Promise you. I know we're just running out of time a little bit, so my apologies. Don't mean to sound rude there. Jerry Pugh, how would you want your fans to behave? No, Jerry, for me, people can behave how they want.
Enjoy it.
The thing is, I've always said, and it's just me, and I want to give my opinion, is supporting City is great, but learn the ethos of the club, learn about the history of the club. And that's up to you. People want to do that, they don't. I mean, a simple fact is, we had a saying, City till we die. It was win, lose, or draw, we were there. And Dax made a great point this morning on the South Stand. And maybe this is my issue, is I see match-going fans and fans online are very different. Very, very different. Because I don't see all this negativity in the stadium, you see.
You don't meet the fans after the matches either, Martin.
It's not like that, though, is it? You know what I mean? No one's in there booing the players or slagging, you know, get him the fuck out, and they're doing all this. We're not doing all that. I said this to Alan, like I said, I think I mentioned it before. We clapped the players off at 0-0 at Southampton when everyone else was having a meltdown. We just don't. There's none of this. And I think that's what it is for me sometimes. I go from that into the online world, and I think it's a bit different. I think people are more reactionary. And I get sometimes it's anger, but football's meant to be fun. It's meant to be a game. It's meant to be something we all get together for. Have a drink and a pint, a laugh, meet in the pub. That, you know, it's meant to be our escape from real world.
TalkSport said something last season, and I still remember it now. And TalkSport did a piece about City, and I forget who it was, but one of them mentioned it and said, "What's actually going on with City fans this year? Because they're normally like really like loyal, level-headed. Like they've always been like very supportive of the club, even win, lose or draw." And someone put back in the messages, well, that success breeds these kind of fans to the fan base, and it's true.
Don't agree. It's your opinion, Jack. Of course, just don't agree with that. Getting rich through the red card. That's PSG. Unfortunately, we went from a great analysis. For fuck's sake, can't we demand good football after the treble?
Yeah, of course we can.
But it depends what you want.
No. You can't demand anything. You can hope for.
You don't demand anything in life.
You can't demand anything.
You can want, but you don't demand anything. My kid demands stuff, they don't get it. You can ask for it. Anyone demands for it, major difference. We're all dads here. If our kids ask us and start demanding stuff, no.
I mean, I'm giving in. I'm for a quiet evening. I'm giving in.
Bevo, they're leading the parents' charge. Oh, what you want?
I want more screen time and a pizza, Dad.
If it means that I can. If it means I can sit down at 10 o'clock and chill out for half hour,
today.
If you want the car,
I'm going to give a lot of credit to Jeremy Docker. Thought his movement was a lot crisper yesterday, quicker. Great finish for the goal, by the way. Very Erling Haaland-esque with the kung fu kick from 2 yards out. Not sure the 2 yards out kung fu kick was required, but it looked good on the old television, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
I enjoyed it.
He was getting into good areas. Thought Savinho, Hamza told me he was crap. I thought he was quite positive. He was getting down the line. He was doing something I didn't see from him last season, where he was running his man. He was running the line with his fullback.
It's also partly the levels of opposition, though, as well, Mark.
Yes, of course. The opposition was, Rome wasn't built in a day.
No.
And that's all I want to see in these games is an improvement each time. People have got the thing about slow football. Sorry, Pep's your manager. You're not going to get it. Will get quicker, but you're still going to get passing.
You can also only beat who's in front of you. You can only beat who's in front of you as well. Like,
you want long ball football, wing play, and all that. You've got the wrong manager at the minute. Managers have ethos. Klopp had an ethos. Fergie had an ethos. Yes, they tweak, as in we'll still do the passing, but it needs to be of a quicker tempo. That is where I think Lijnders has come in. Pep Lijnders' job is to get that front three quicker, moving the ball with a quicker tempo, but the passing element is still going to be there. You look at Wydad.
Players last season, Martin. Also,
they still went 10 at the back. 10 at the back is 10 at the back.
And Pep's ethos was never the slowness. We were much quicker for nearly every season.
I think people don't understand
control.
10 at the back.
Yeah.
People think 10 at the back is everyone's got this solution. You saw with England, when a team plays 10 at the back, not everyone can. 10 at the back is hard, no matter what you do. That's why teams do it. Why teams go low block, because it is known to get success. Real Madrid have had low blocks played against them. Real Madrid drew one each yesterday, and there wasn't a hoo-ha like this.
Al looked a better team by far.
But the thing is, Bevel, they drew one each, and their fans weren't doing this.
No, exactly.
Their friends were having...
weren't all doing this.
No. Let's be quite honest about Real Madrid fans and Real Madrid. They fire managers for winning the league and going out in the Champions League semi-final.
That's what it was about. MCFC was always a family where we were welcome of anyone, had a good laugh, win, lose or draw. Now it's fights, conflicts and everything else.
Well, we still got our song. We still got one of the songs from the early days circulating. We never win at home and we never win away. We lost last week and we lost today, but we don't give a
The thing that worries me is we're melting down over a pre-season friendly. That's my worry now. That we won. That we fucking won.
Yeah, but Martin,
but Martin, I think about 1% of fans are. I think
no, Rich, no, Rich,
barely.
Rich, no, don't do that. No, Rich, no, Rich, do not do 1% because that's bollocks. Because everyone noticed it. I was in shows yesterday where people who never say anything were appearing and bollocking other people now because people have said they've had enough. It went too far yesterday.
Because a small minority,
no, that's bullshit.
Mainly on Twitter and YouTube.
No, that's bullshit narrative, Rich. That you're doing this.
No, I don't agree.
No, it is.
You can go to the pub with 100 other. No, you can go to a pub with 100 other blues, and you won't meet one of them being, Ellen the Bell, the absolute fairy that we see, just melt down about every defeat. I reckon that's an element of the online support, and
just said that.
I don't think there's much of that. Yeah, but I don't think you go and meet 100 City fans on the street. Not one of them will have had a meltdown about the. No, Rich. I just said earlier on. I said match-going fans and online fans are very different. Yeah, and even online fans and that's not online saying fans who are really engaged. Because someone's going to type in, does that mean no? I'm not saying match-going fans are better. I'm saying they're calmer.
I mean, that's debatable.
Apart from Bevo, who has his meltdown.
I sat next to some blinders at Wolves. Honestly, booting off because there was one misplaced pass. I thought he was going to lob the chair.
Well, I was generally over at Wolves. I will say about yesterday's game, the US have to work. The US fans have to work on the football chant song. Let's go, City doesn't cut it. And they're still doing that. They did that last season. Let's go, City. Let's go.
I was too busy watching the Moroccan fans.
Right, go on, Ozzy. What was you going to say, mate?
I was just saying, there's still a hang-up of last season, though. It's still so fresh in people's memories that I don't think that's really going to be, I'd say over, really, but I still think it's not going to be the forefront of people's heads until the beginning of next season. Where we start
great. I understand that, but the analogy I use is, if you're with a partner and they cheat on you, you have a decision to make. Do you forgive them or do you end it? If you choose to forgive, you can't throw it back in the face forever.
I mean, City cheated on us by signing the deal with Viagogo, so I suppose you're right.
No, but that's what I mean. That's if I cheat my missus and she goes, yeah, right, I'll get back with you. And we've never done that, by the way. I'm not saying cheat. I'm using it as an analogy. If you choose to forgive, you've got to forgive and move on. You can't throw it back in the face for the next 12 years. He's been gone. Khaldun said
it's always in the back of your head, though, isn't it? Niggling away.
So, Martin, do you think the problem is that
turn the page, move on?
I agree, but I think
tomorrow is a new day. Best saying
that. Tomorrow is a new day. Have you forgiven the club for Alan Ball?
Yeah. Was you a City fan back then, Rich, or was you at Oxford?
Oxford.
You know, when we played Oxford United, it was you were supporting. I can imagine you there with your Joey Beach.
Always City.
Joey
Beach. City. He was a nice lad, Joey. Don't speak ill of the dead.
Look at him here. Look at him here, Joey Beach. I'm loving. No, I won't speak ill of the dead.
He was. Did
you have a season ticket at the Manor
fantastic
Ground? Was you on the hill?
No. I was in the left side of the London Road. But
look at him here. He's even admitting it now. He's admitting it.
I must admit, when Oxford against City today, it would be. I'd never. They were about the same as us back then, so I'd never have supported Oxford against City. Nowadays, it's different. They're so many light years behind. It's not funny. Anyway, I have to go.
Again,
I noticed, and I must admit, I love the fact that Martin has turned this channel into Oxford United with all the Oxford United colours. All our names are in yellow. The whole trim is in yellow. So it is like an Oxford United channel now. It's perfect. All we need now is a little Chris Wood statue, and my mission is complete. Have a wonderful rest of the show, boys. And speak soon. Yeah, speak soon.
Right. Anyway, Martin, there were many years where I felt like being a City fan was like being in a failing relationship. Exactly. You got to move on. Fucking love this club. Say it as it is. Jack. And it's core fans. I don't feel the love is felt by everyone now. It's sad. It's more than criticism and opinions. Do you know what it is, Jack? It's just some. I'm going to say it as it is. Some got too used to champagne, and champagne is all they want now.
And
that's okay.
What I meant by the treble comment.
Yeah, some are too used to champagne, and I do think it's an age thing as well. Not with everyone. I know there are some older City fans who've got, the standards thing. I think it is an older generation thing, because, the ones, a lot of people I speak to are of older generation. I speak to a lot of younger lads, Jack Lee, Harry, top lads, and they've embraced. I think it's just an individual's probably personality is what you're enjoying it for, and it is what it is. What we've got to do is, I have no problem with anyone supporting how they want. Just let them support. At the moment, there's too much of this split of the older fan base are known as main road wankers, and the younger fan base are known as you're only here for the trophy. We're all here. We're all one family. We work together. We work best when we are together. There was a tagline we used to win the treble, #together. And ever since then, we've not been together. We've been split. And we've got to get back to being together. Because when we're together, there is no better fan base in the world. There is no better fan base in the world than Manchester City Football Club. There is no bouncing place like the Etihad when it's loud. Now, the club have done us a favour. They've lowered the ticket prices.
Unbelievable.
Big up to the club on that. They're giving out new season tickets. Yeah. They're doing what people are doing. Now we've got to do our job, which is get there and get behind the boys. If you only get behind the boys when they're winning, then that's on you.
Do you know how significant it is dropping them by nearly 50% as well?
Yeah, that's on you.
That's massive. And it gives opportunities to old match going fans that haven't been able to get tickets for years. It gives them an opportunity to go. Like, I'm going to actually be able to go to quite a few games next season for the first time in a long time.
By the way, look, I was captain here. His missus didn't want to go to any City game. She goes to one game, bang, let's go Florida. She's going to Orlando for the Juventus game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like. It's a bug. It's a love. Cut open, bleed blue. Let's do this. We do it together. Sound like that old 80s insurance company. Direct together. With the Brummie accent. We've created the monsters. I'm not a match going fan. Yes, I go and we need support. Yeah. We just got to, that's another thing, the player FC. I want a Kanji out. I want a Stones out. I want my, one, they're not your boys. They're our boys. They're all our boys. While they're in a blue shirt, they get support. While they're here in a blue shirt, they're on that pitch and they're on that bench and they're representing the club, they get our support. There will be seasons we don't win fuck all. There'll be seasons we win everything. There were seasons we win 1 or 2. Just enjoy the ride.
Do you know how wild it is to say there'll be seasons where we win everything? Like, do you know how hard that is to comprehend? Like, because there are other good teams, like very good teams. But Martin's right. There will be times where we do win everything.
I also think it helps.
Anyone seen Steve McInerney's tweet today? I think he's on holiday somewhere and he's put a picture. He's put, it's only pre-season. Like the funniest thing ever. I'm like, go on, Steve. You show him, mate. He's like, honestly, we've had to remind everyone People, there was some guy on Twitter, I won't name his name, was like, the Club World Cup's bigger than the Premier League. Bollocks! What are you watching?
I mean, if you really want to know who it was, someone said it at the start of the stream.
I know. Oh, right, they put it up. I know it was, but I'm not going to say his name because I think the guy talks out of his rear end, if you want me to be totally honest. I've never known anyone name themselves after the manager, but slags off the manager so damn much.
Baldiola, I'll say it. Okay.
All right, there you go. Jose, final thoughts, my friend?
I think, as we've kind of been saying throughout the show, this Club World Cup is I don't think we need to take it too seriously. I think the club, yes, will take it seriously, and the players and the manager will get more serious in the latter stages if we get there. I think for us, it's just enjoying what we're seeing right now of the new players, other players finding their feet after injuries and bad seasons. For me, it's nice to watch a bit of football and not have to worry that there's something big, that we have to win and so much pressure. I think for now, it's just nice to watch a little bit of football and then prepare for next season. For me,
can I just add something to that? What are you taking as bets that we end up playing Real Madrid in the next round? Like, I almost think that they purposely drew that game yesterday so they could get us in the next round. Because every damn competition, we play Real Madrid.
It's starting to become the next El Clasico, isn't it? For them, really,
it really is. What's the bet though that we, Martin? What is the bet that we end up playing them? It's almost like odds-on favourite at this point. Before the competition's even begun, it's like we will play Real Madrid, and we'll probably play Bayern Munich as well if we qualify.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Right. Anyway, Bevo, where can y'all find you, mate? Because I know while you're away, the cat's going to play.
Oh yeah.
Where do you do your streams?
So I'm over on Not In My Lifetime. You'll also find me over on LB's panel show. While Luke's, so I'm part of the co-hosts of Not In My Lifetime, but while Luke is away, I am hosting, and I've got free reign to do what I want. So that is exactly what I will be doing. I will not get us banned. I will not get us demonetized. I promise that. He's
got to do a hot tub stream with Alan. He's doing a politics stream with Alan. Luke, the channel's ended, mate.
We've got a stream tomorrow around 8:30, I believe. We've got a very, very nice guest who's agreed to join us on the show tomorrow night. So come over and give it a watch. I'm sure anyone who is a regular viewer of here will be familiar with him.
Great guest. Are you going on us?
Not been invited, mate.
Did I not tell you? It's Alan. Alan's coming on.
Go and give Not In My Lifetime pod a lot of love. Let's get them final few likes. By the way, the haters of the channel, the 5 people who disliked, you do realize that helps the interaction on the channel. I know I'm a main road wanker, and I know people love it. By the way, I'm going to embrace the hate this year. You notice I don't give a shit anymore. So enjoy, fire away, do what you want. Don't care.
Alan is also considered a free transfer.
Alan just gets loaned around until we get the good fee. He's our Calvin Phillips. Guys, I'm gonna let this out. I'm really seeing something deep down inside about our latest squad. Just something feels special. Just the vibe. Not really got the words.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, by the way, you can get a tablet for that, Blue Art. You nip to the doctors, it'll get rid of that feeling. Going to wake up Saturday morning and see the channel deleted, aren't I? Yes, you will. Anyway, big up, Posy, thank you. We'll be back tomorrow, 12. What time I put it for? I'll tell you now. What time's the show tomorrow? 12:15. So there you go. So tomorrow, 12:15 is the Waffle Show, Transfer Waffle Show. At 1:15 with me, LB, and we'll see who else we can get. I think Pat's coming on. We'll see who else we can get. That'll be at 12:15. And then, yeah, tomorrow, Night of My Lifetime, I should be joining Bebo. What time is it, mate? You want to tell everyone?
Yeah, 8:30.
8:30.
It'll be a good one. We're going to run through the Premier League fixtures and also a preview of the up-and-coming game on Sunday/Monday, whichever country you're watching from. Which
is a great segue. Watch along Saturday, 1:30 in the morning. We kick off. Yes, we are doing it. 1:30 in the morning. City versus Al Ain FC. We will be live with the watch along. So come and join us. 1:30 in the morning. Grab your breakfast. Grab your cornflakes. Grab your crunchy nut. Whatever you fancy. You might be allergic to nuts. Please don't, get ill for us. But there you go. We will be live with that. Loads of things coming up. And then we'll be back Tuesday night with the post-match. I'm having Monday off because I'll be sleeping. Balls. Tuesday night we'll be back. And yeah, don't forget on the watch along, people in America, this might be more for Australia. If you want to come on at halftime or during the watch along, you are more than welcome. You don't even have to be on camera. But come and join us. It's your channel. Yeah, and I'll do a show over the weekend of what's coming up next week as well. I think that's everything. Yeah, right, that's everything. This is going to take you over to LB.
He's never live, is he?
Just every time we go live, he's fucking live now.
He's always live.
But anyway, no, this is going to take over to LB. Please pop in the chat, Mank Way Raid. So I want you to put that in the chat as you go over. Mankway Raid. Let him know we've sent you. Smash them final few likes. We'll see you all tomorrow, 12:15. Not in my lifetime. True City Fan TV. Everyone who's in love. Take care all. And we'll see you all very soon. As always, up the blues. Bye all.